So tonight's the night. Scandal is back on TV, and so I decided to do an Olivia Pope scandal look. You've been asking for it. If you want to know how to do it, keep watching.
So I'm going to use a flat brush and eyeshadow called Kid, and I'm just going to pat that on top of my eyelid. You want to keep it pretty neutral on the eyelid because her makeup look always has a very light color on the lid. But we're going to add then mulch, which has a little bit of a shimmer to it because when I see her in pictures, you can tell that there's just a little bit of reflective light coming off of the inner corners and the outer corners of the eye. But I decided to just apply it all over. Next, I'm going to use a fluffy brush, and I'm going to use cork, and I'm just going to blend that right into my crease. I want it to be a little soft, a little bit of definition, but again, you want to keep it nice and natural. Not too much color. So now I'm going to use a little bit of my Pinch Me blush, and I'm just going to warm up the crease a little bit so that there has a little bit of a color, and just going to warm up the crease a bit. Now I'm going to go in with a pencil brush, and with the color Corduroy, I'm just going to kind of smoke out right around my lash line. The idea here is that you want to add a soft definition, and you want to make sure that the lash line looks a little fuller. She has great lashes, and you don't want to have a really dark eyeliner, so just a little bit of that will do. Now I'm going to use an eyeliner pencil. I'm going to use black, and I'm just dabbing right in between my lower lash line, my lower lashes. I don't want there to be a really harsh line, and I'm going to do a tight line right above my top lashes. So I'm going really close to the lash line, and then I'm going to blend that a little bit with my finger as well as with a pencil brush. Make sure you do both sides. And again, blend with that pencil brush. Now make sure you go right underneath the lashes for a really thick lash line effect. So now I'm using Embark eyeshadow, and I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows. I'm using an angle brush and just pushing the color right into my brow to mimic the natural brow hairs. You want to be sure that you do a nice clean arch under the brow, get the front of the brow to define it, and go with your natural brow line. If you try to alter it with powder, it may not look as natural as you'd like. So now we're going to use a concealer, and I'm just going to use a flat brush, and I'm going to outline my eyebrows. What I'm doing here is also covering any sparse hairs that may be growing in that I haven't yet had a chance to tweeze. Using a flat brush, I'm going to blend out that concealer. It provides a natural highlight and cleans up the brows to create a really clean, crisp look. Using a fluffy brush, blend Brulee and Soft Brown right underneath the eyebrow. That is going to help to set that concealer as well as create a natural highlight look.
Black track, thin brush.
I'm dipping my brush into black track, and then I'm concentrating the color right in the middle of my eye. Olivia Pope has a much rounder eye shape than I naturally do, so I'm not going to try to line my complete lash line. I really want to concentrate it in the center. That's going to create a rounder eye, as well as, again, making that lash line much more defined and much more voluminous, so that when I put my mascara on, my lashes are going to look wide open, awake, and kind of have that little doll lash effect. Continue by going right in between the lashes in the lower lash. I just kind of dab it with my pencil brush. Now I'm using a pale pink, almost a white pencil. This is something I got from Sephora that I really don't use that often, but I'm going to line the inner rim of my lower lashes. What this does is it provides a more wide awake open effect. It's a trick that you can use if you feel really tired or you feel that your eyes look really dark. This helps to open up the eyes. I don't do this on a daily basis, but again, I want to create that nice round open eye look, and this is a step that I definitely wouldn't skip for this kind of look. Now I'm doing my foundation. I'm using the Double Wear by Estee Lauder, and I'm going to apply it with my fingers because I feel that that is a really quick way, as well as I like the way that my fingers will warm up the product and spread it a little faster and a little better than I like from a brush. So I'm applying it to both sides, and I work from the middle of my cheeks outwards in a rubbing circular motion. I go down the bridge of my nose. I normally don't apply too much to the forehead, but again, this is a look that I really want to make sure that everything is concealed and covered and looks as flawless as possible. So blend that out as best you can. And when that is done, then I'm going to move on to doing concealer. Again, you want to make sure that you blend it into all of the nooks and crannies of your face. So I'm going to use my concealer. I'm using the MAC Cover Up Select Cover Concealer, and I'm dabbing it underneath my eyes, and then I'm going to let it set. So I want to get as close to the lash line as possible, and the reason I'm going to let it set on the skin is because when you allow foundation or concealer to set a little bit more before you blend, it's going to make it more opaque. So it's going to have a better coverage than it would by itself. I don't really let it set on my nose because that is just more of like a highlighting trick, and I don't really need it to be that highlighted or to be that opaque. But it does create a little bit more definition and a little more interest to the face. At this point, I'm going in with Blunt and Raisin from MAC. They're two blushes that I like to blend to contour. Blunt is nice, but I think Raisin's a lot warmer, so I like the effect of that. And then sometimes I'll even use my Embark eyeshadow because that's a lot deeper. And if I want a really heavy contour, that's what I'm going to use. I also just realized at this point that I hadn't put any powder on my face, so this is the time that I've chosen to go ahead and blend in my concealer so that I can then set it with my powder. I'm blending it with a MAC 217 brush, and what I love about this is that it allows the product to still stay where it's supposed to, but it's going to really blend it right into the skin. And I have to say, this is one of the tricks that I really like the most because it's really hard, I find, to get a really nice under eye concealer. So now I'm using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural Powder in dark, and I'm using a little puff, and I'm just blotting it all over my face, going over the nose, the cheeks, and setting the concealer. I'm going to use a special beauty powder, a loose powder from MAC, and this is called, I think it's Peach. I'll put the link below. And I just dropped it all over my pants, so that was fun, and on my finger, so that's the mess up that's going on right now. And I'm using a stippling brush. And I'm just using that to set my concealer. This is not something I use every day. I mean, I use this maybe once a year. It's not something that I use a lot of because it has a lot of shimmer to it. And if your skin has texture, so if your skin isn't perfectly smooth, any bumps and little nooks and crannies, a highlighting powder is going to bring that out. So I tend not to use a lot of highlighting powders. So what I'm doing is I'm using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder and pressing that on top of the loose powder so that it just doesn't look as highlighted and it just looks a lot smoother. But again, I do want that kind of light reflective look under my eyes. So now I'm adding a little bit more of my contouring, and what I'm doing is I'm rounding out my cheeks and kind of carving them out. Kerry Washington has beautiful cheekbones that I just don't naturally have. So I'm also going to just kind of carve out little sections of my face. I want my skin and my face to be really defined. So down the bridge of the nose, the forehead, I'm really getting those cheekbones and right around the temples. That's what's going to help to create that rounded cheekbone effect and really carve those out. Using the same brush, I'm going to dab the side of it into my Pinch Me blush and a little bit of Feeling. Feeling is a little pinker than Pinch Me. Pinch Me is a little more of a peach. And I'm just dabbing that a bit onto my cheeks. I don't want there to be a lot of color, but a little bit will be great, just to round out the look.
I'm going to use the Clinique Chubby Stick. It's a moisturizing lip color balm, and I really like these a lot. And this one is in Super Strawberry. So I'm just going to actually line the lips and fill them in all at once. Now the character Olivia Pope doesn't really have a lot of lip color on ever, but I like this because it's kind of sheer, but you can build it, and it's really smooth. This is something that I will reapply throughout the day without needing to put any other balm on, and so this is perfect for me. So that is your finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment below and check out my blog. The link is below. I will see you in the next video. Bye! So today is the winter premiere, or I don't know what they're doing now. They have all these different ideas about like fall premiere, fall finale, winter. I don't know. Why can't TV just be on all the time? And you play the same, well, not the same episodes, but you play episodes all the way through. And you don't have like a Christmas break and then a spring break and then a, I don't know, pay your taxes break. I can't keep track of them all. But tonight, Scandal's coming back on. Everyone in the family's excited. I'm excited. People at work are excited. People on Facebook are excited. Everybody loves Scandal.